Automating your work while you sleep with AI agents, as a non-technical person, can feel daunting. Today, I'm going to show you 3 to 4 really great ways to get work to happen while you're not there using accessible AI, particularly Claude and Claude CoWork and Notion. This video will break down the difference between Claude Dispatch, scheduled tasks in Claude, routines in Claude Code, custom agents in Notion, and the options that you have. Now, I've had a lot of questions since I released my big how to get set up on Claude CoWork video. Have I now given up with Notion? And the answer is fundamentally and absolutely no. I'm absolutely using Notion, and it's actually the perfect combination with something like Claude. By the end of this video, you'll be automating work while you sleep, and it won't be costing you the earth. And just double check you're subscribed below, because YouTube might just be feeding you this anyway, and I'd love you to stick around. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple of places where I get my work done using AI today. First of all, here in Claude CoWork, you've got 3 tabs at the top: Chat, which is your standard chat interface; CoWork, where it's a kind of beautifully designed interface where you can work with your desktop workspace and within a specific folder. I've got mine set up as Claude CoWork, and everything happens within it. My projects, my outputs. I've got about me files that guide everything. If you want to check out how I'm using this in depth, go and watch that other video on how to get set up, and check out my templated CoWork OS system that will onboard you to CoWork actively and get you using it better than most people very quick. Thank you to everyone who downloaded. So I'm using that there. We've then got Claude Code, which now has this brand new item called routines. And when we select a new routine, we can do it locally, but we can also do it remotely. That means tasks that run on the cloud, not on your computer, so your computer doesn't have to be always on. In CoWork, we've got scheduled tasks. These can be set to run on a schedule. You can give them simple instructions in CoWork. And in Customize, you can select connectors which the system can draw on. The great thing about that, it's all included within your plan, meaning that a max plan allows me to code, build, write, have a personal assistant, and have always-on computing happening for me at a really great value. It's way better than a personal assistant. You will, however, need to switch this toggle on to allow Claude to keep your computer running. So I leave a Mac at my office that I can always speak to. And to that end, you've then got the option to speak directly to Claude using Dispatch. It now has the option to use your computer, actually interface with specific items, such as your Chrome browser and your other apps, if you want to allow that. And it will be a single thread that allows you to speak to it on your phone. I'll show you that in a moment. So we can dispatch it from our phone, we can schedule it with CoWork, we can set routines running in the cloud, but then of course we've got Notion, and Notion has a wonderful set of tools now with custom agents. The difference with custom agents, these can be granular design. It really is amazing what you can build. We have built out Andrea, our weekly customer service analyzer, and she will search through our Slack, our customer service email, and read specific information, follow specific instructions, and be triggered at specific times. And she creates us weekly reports in a Notion database with all the information we need based on what's happened in the week. That's amazing. Now, the problem with custom agents, they cost credits, and you're paying per run. 1,000 credits in Notion is about $10. So running Andrea twice is costing me about £1.50 a run. I think that's actually really not too bad. And there are many ways to improve this by selecting the right model for the mode and thinking about how they're triggered, not just automatically every week. But if this is a great team use case with a clear return on investment, custom agents in Notion might be the most accessible and powerful way for you to automate tasks in your workflow anywhere. So let me take you through each one very quickly and show you how to get using them. So the first interface is you triggering it, but from your mobile. So I'm using Claude Dispatch, and I absolutely love it. So what this means is we can speak to Claude directly on the iPhone using the Dispatch tab in the app. And as long as your computer is always on, it will respond to it here. So what I can say to it, for example, is I'm going to use Whisper Flow. What have I got coming up tomorrow, and what do you recommend I focus on for Friday? So this just allows me to essentially use Claude as a personal assistant. It's worth saying in my CoWork OS, I've actually created a personal assistant plugin. It has skills within it which can do things like a daily briefing, a setup, a task. It can log things into a captain's log, an end of day response. It's really cool. And I'm designing this and exploring this at the moment in beta in order to use that plugin within the system of my CoWork OS so that I essentially have a command center with a built-in personal assistant that remembers things. And if I get this working right, it means that I can speak to it using Dispatch wherever I am, and it will just quickly log things into the right place. More on my personal assistant build and how it works on a future video, so get subscribed. For example, I can click run end of day and it will just do a little / command. If we run that, it will trigger the plugin. So something that's really cool to be able to do. Dispatch has come back and you can see, here's what's happening tomorrow. So it's a really simple example. It's just giving me my calendar, the tasks that are due. But what we can also do here is start coding tasks. We can continue to talk with the system. And I was using this to actually work out how to build a personal assistant that would quickly accept tasks and add them into Notion for me. This is really cool. Look, there you go. It's added all 3 of my Notion tasks. So that's Dispatch. Let's move on to the second option, which is scheduled tasks. This is, again, within CoWork, so it's super accessible and it allows you to build tasks. Now, some examples I've got is a weekly inbox triage. You can see it's been running and it generates a briefing, looks through the system, shares all of the information that I need within it. And with Claude Code, I actually vibe coded myself a report. It's telling me all of the information that was generated by that scheduled task into this system. And I've even got within here a little update on YouTube, which it drops in as well. And a little Pomodoro timer. So if you want to check that out, it's over on the Better Creating channel of how I vibe coded that app. But let's create a new one. I have in my Notion a task which has been automatically monitoring the content database for video descriptions, which I insert into it, and then drawing out any affiliate links, which it can then add to an affiliate links database. Now, I think Claude might be an easier place to do this, so I'm going to try creating it. I'm going to select all of the instructions that I wrote for it and jump over here and create a new task. And we're going to put this in here and we're going to call it affiliate link scraper. What I want it to do is automatically monitors my content database for new published videos, then finds the video URL, scrapes the description for affiliate links, and checks them against my Notion affiliate links database and updates the database with anything that is missing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this description we got from Notion. I'm going to create a new chat in Notion, paste that in, and say, I would like to adapt these instructions to be used for Claude directly in the Claude app. Write me some updated instructions which would reference the databases, but also adapt the trigger for these instructions to be that Claude should check weekly for any new videos that have had video URLs added. If a video URL has just been added for a video dated within the last week, it should then go to that video URL, scrape the description for affiliate links, and then follow the process we've outlined here. This is a quick way for me to do that. Great, so it's worked this out for me and given me the instructions. We'll just give this a go, shall we? So here's the instructions, copy it. We've got, at the end of the run, share this in a concise format. Then we're going to paste in the URL, which we already have here. Then we'll put in the Notion URL for affiliate links. I'm just going to go find that. Here it is. Copy the link. Great. That all looks really good. There's a weekly trigger. So we'll set the weekly trigger to weekly. And let's say it's 9 a.m. on a Monday. That's normally after I've published. I'm actually going to leave it on ask before acting for the first time we do it. I want it to work within a specific project, which is CoWork. And that's where all my instructions are. And let's make the model. It doesn't need to be too complicated. Let's try this. Well, we'll leave it on default and see what it does. And we'll click save. So what we can now do is test this. Let's run it. Great, so it looks like it's found the correct video, iPhone productivity machine video. To clarify, you should be searching the description of the YouTube video online via the YouTube video URL, not finding any affiliate links in the actual Notion pages. Is that what you're doing? Now with things like this, the more accurate you are with thinking through the logical steps of a task and that you're precise with each stage, the better the results and the more token efficient it will be. So what you can see here is my instructions, I just threw them in for the demo and they're not as accurate as they could be. It's going around in circles a bit, getting things wrong. It's trying lots of different things. But what I can now do is, based on this, give it feedback and say, update your instructions. So this is all process that would take me a little bit of time to go and do it. This can just be running automatically. And then what we end up with is something really cool. Let me show you the results that we'll end up with. First of all, in Notion, we will have affiliate links dropped in with the related video they're linked to and the video link that the item is featured in. Then I have the option to turn something from a draft into a real item. So if we look in like cameras, I've got a bunch of items that can show. And then what's really cool, on my website, that Notion page is linked to the design of our website so that those affiliate links are automatically dropped into the page. So I end up with a really clean list of links and references. Really cool. Now, the reason I think this is interesting to consider is my weekly briefing and inbox triage are great examples of really effective use cases for working with Claude for clear outputs and briefs. But what we're finding with this affiliate link scraper is that it's doing a lot of work. It's really having to push through all of these detailed steps, and it's probably costing quite a lot of usage. That's pretty expensive. So in this case, where it needs to look through multiple parts of a Notion database, check those things against themselves, well, probably Alf, the affiliate link extractor, ironically, is very good value. He costs 40p for 24 runs. We should be running Alf. It's a clear return on investment, and we should be running him as a Notion native example. Okay, we've got a result. Let's see what we did. So it's taken two videos, found the links, new rows that it's added, Ugreen, MacBooks, Lovable. There we go. Now let's go and look at what the equivalent is in Notion. For the affiliate link scraper, Alf might be a better option to stay in Notion. Now, before we take a look at routines in Claude Code that can run automatically on the cloud without you needing your computer left on, let's take a look at what Notion is offering, which I think for many use cases is absolutely the perfect choice for loads of people. Custom agents can be created like this. We're going to click on to a little plus button next to agents. You can also do this from the personal agent view and click Create Custom Agent. It will give you a couple of examples that can happen here. Task triager, capture and route tasks into Notion, or weekly status report, morning briefs. They've also got a bunch of prompts and existing examples in the template system. So there's some really popular ones here. Analyze your daily calendar and recommends how to manage conflicts. An email assistant summarizes your inbox each morning, suggests whether you keep archive reply based on your routing rules. Really cool. So there's a bunch of things in here that will do a load of stuff for you. So this is interesting. Let's check out the knowledge librarian, and it stops letting your saved articles and notes go to waste. Cool. So there's a bunch of instructions. You can get the agent, import it, and it's pretty cool. You can also make your own, and that's probably the way forward here. So let's just do that. Create a custom agent. And how about this? All you do is just explain it in plain language. I'd like us to create an agent that searches my Notion at bettercreating.com inbox. You can find that database here. And there it is. We're going to find products and services knowledge base. There it is. I'd like you to work out the best agent and instruction set to keep this token efficient. I'm just going to change this to, so we have an email connector set up for my Gmail. We've got this knowledge base that exists, and let's just click go on it. This might be quite an expensive agent, but interestingly, it probably will be quite effective and potentially worthwhile. So we can just speak to it to set it up. We can set ourselves with custom agents in Notion triggers. So I can click add trigger and I can do it based on new email received. So it could be every single email that comes in, but I don't think that's the right thing. You can do it on event created, lots of different things. Here's what it's done. And it's saying some things we need to clarify. So it's linked to this, can edit. I'm going to add who am I? Okay, I've added a who am I page, which should be viewed before acting for clarification of what our key focus is in case this is relevant to how it scripts replies. I'm going to put that in. Let's answer some of its questions. So let's send that to it. Now, it probably is going to cost money, okay, to actually set this up. If we look at credits, well, maybe not at the moment. They might have adapted that. That's promising. But yeah, you can see the credits you use. That 1,000 Notion credits a month, that's actually only about $10. That's really not bad on my current usage. It's added these. Great. So we can click save. Now, if we gave it web access, we could give it web access to other things. So we could also say in here, you could put in Notion help, right? So that it can search those specific things. But I don't want to really do that. We're going to leave this where it is for now. Now let's run the agent and see what it does. Now, while that runs, I want to show you an alternative approach because of course this is going to cost credits. There is another option. I use Personal Agent in Notion for interactions and you do it in here. Most people do it. You can just speak to it and do stuff. And it's just more of a chat interface, not an automated run. But there are clever ways to do it. I have actually built myself a set of sub agents. Here they all are. And the way that my system works for Personal Agent is that I've built specialists. So it would pick the specialist mode. This is my agent instruction set for Personal Agent. Depending on what I ask, it will pick one of these 13 modes. I mean, some of them are silly, an entertainer and satirist. Please roast my business. Your business is essentially a deeply British person building an impossibly elegant system to help other people stop building impossibly elegant systems. Yeah, sure, nice. But I could also create myself a mode within here, which is my customer service reviewer. And this mode, if we go and take a look at it, which I've just created, this is the exact same process we just built. I actually got my meta agent, which helped me build better mode instructions to write this, and it will do the same process. Now there's a lot more in this, which I could probably use. And so to run this, I can just go in here and do CS review, please. And when I run that, I am going to stop this once it starts going, so it's not happening twice. But when I run that, it will probably load the skills and start the process. So I'm going to stop it because I don't want it to do it. But this might be a much easier way for you to do it. Once a week, just say run it. And then that's all within your business plan, much stronger. And a really interesting approach. Now, what I'm probably going to do is this is a much more involved process where I've also built out a skills deck, which has each stage. So customer service, knowledge base, stale, entry, audit. You can build out a global instruction and then skills for each stage of the process. You're going to get a much better result. Let's go and see how it's getting on. So it's processed the archived threads and it's found a couple of entries and it's created two. So let's see what it did. Hi, yeah, that makes sense. Clean way to do this, blah, blah, blah. All the best, Simon. And its example entries. Now I would want it to template the example entries. So we can say, this was pretty good. Can you update your instructions so that example email replies aren't as specific as this? Okay, I just wanted to come back. It's about 20 minutes later and I've been working on this. I've done a few tweaks to be more in line with that mode 13 that I'd built for the Personal Agent. And now it's much, much clearer. So you can see in the instructions we have mission is really clear. A mandatory stage that it has to load how it writes in my voice, optionally load who I am so that things are cheaper to run, task definitions, the scope, and most importantly, I've got it to follow 4 tasks and it follows these specific skills. These are written within my skills database and it references them. And in honesty, it's not cost much more. I've run it about 7 times. You can see also that we now have these skills listed. There they are. And we've also added trusted URLs so that if it needs to, it can then go and look through the Notion and Anthropic documentation to add detail in replies. Now, this is going to be the basis to then create a triage agent that actually writes replies to new inbox items based on what's there. So it's going to be really interesting to trial. But there you go. It works through. It did the sweep. It checked skills, found that the ones we'd written were already in there, found that these were already in there, and found spam, and gave me a really simple report. Really fantastic. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm going to keep this thing running. This is just, it feels much more integrated and easy to use, strangely. Let me know what you make of it in the comments and where you stand on Notion custom agents versus Notion personal agent versus Claude CoWork. And on that note, we need to go and check out the final element of this demo, which is perhaps the most exciting new entry into the competition. And that is routines in Claude Code run remotely, which I still actually haven't tested yet. This is in Claude Code. You can run these locally, which will allow you to manually schedule them. And again, it's very similar to what you would be doing in CoWork with scheduled tasks. Essentially, it's just got less of a wrapper on it, and it will allow it to essentially be run with your Claude Code instructions. So a lot of people will run these in different things, and often this might be around things like coding and improvements. But what I think is really interesting about routines is the option to do remote. And what remote means is your computer won't have to always be on. I'm going to create one, a really simple example. So this could be really interesting. I'm just going to connect this into this. So if we look at Notion, we get these reports from that system I showed you earlier, and within these, there are testimonials. Now, this is just an example. It doesn't necessarily mean that we want to actually do it like this. It would probably be better for me to build something simple in here, but actually maybe not. This could be a good, effective way to use that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe what I want it to do. I'm going to say, search my Notion database for positive testimonials doing this. I'm going to get the database page link. This is the database. The database is a summary of customer emails. I want you to get them. This is when they're shared, so on and so forth. Great. And then I'm also asking if there's an option to use an N8N connector to also find comments on most recent videos, because we already have that. Down here, we can schedule it, runs, say, weekly on a Monday, and maybe we'll make that 10 a.m. This is really similar, right? It looks very similar. I don't think we need any of these connectors. We don't want it to have access to all of this. So I'm just going to give it what it needs, which is probably going to be N8N, Notion, and Senja. I'm going to click create. I've never done this before. This is brand new for me. So I think just being brave and trying these things, it will always check with you before it does anything significant. Interestingly, when I created that, that was just a request to make the instructions, and actually they're not very good instructions. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to click edit in here and click all of this, copy, and let's just go into code and start a new session. Please, can you help me write effective instructions for a Claude Code routine as follows for this subject? So I'm just going to give it what I've written and ask it to help me improve those instructions. I'm going to use essentially the same system to improve itself. And this is what I think Anthropic have been doing for years, probably months. Everything moves so quickly. They're getting Claude to build Claude, right? So Claude Code built Claude CoWork. Amazing. Let's see what we get back. While we let this finish, there's a little recap. Dispatch to send stuff remotely on Claude CoWork or Claude Code. You've then got scheduled tasks, which are easy ways to connect to connectors and use your wider CoWork system to schedule recurring items. You could go into Notion and trigger it with simple commands in your personal agent, or you could create custom agents in Notion for where the work is happening and drawing on specific information in Notion. Or we could go even further and move into routines in the cloud, which really get advanced. It just really is all doing the same thing. It just depends on how it looks. So let's see what we've got. Here's your plan. It's using ask user question to check in with me here. So let's just answer these questions. So you can see this is a lot more serious, right? It's really working out the steps, what this would look like. It's much more involved, but I think we could end up with some really great results. Okay, let's just accept that. Let's just ship the Notion only version first. Please give me the instructions I need to paste into the routine. Okay, cool. It suggests that I schedule it for Tuesday as well. Great. So now what we can do, because it's put it in a code block, is copy it, go to our routines, and click on this, edit it, run it on a Tuesday. There you go. Looking good. Let's run it. Now, I've never done this before. Let's see what happens. Now, whilst it is, with a max plan, it is a big investment. If everything is under that and you're actually using it regularly, remotely, this is potentially a really good use of your funds. Because if you keep adding lots of different subscriptions, it ends up being a lot more money, right, to get the best quality. So I think the more we can all aim for a single central tool or two that we invest in that does all the work, then you can spend more on that tool, get all of the best features and usage, better value, things like the 5x max plan for all the stuff you do, coding, building and everything, and you're really getting somewhere. So I'm hopeful about this routine being the one. Let's see what it does. It's got 3 testimonials. Marking the Notion page is processed. Great, so I can go to my dashboard. It's done it. It was fast as well. Let's go and have a look at it. Well, there you go. I think that's right. Look, this is really exciting. That's cool. So it's done it. This is my favorite use case ever. Really fast. So I'm seeing all of these new feedbacks going in for CoWork OS, for Life OS. So it's added them in. Let's now go and just check what it's done in Notion. So if we go and find the customer service review, it must be from here. Let's just see what they were. Testimonials. That's them there. Testimonials process. There you go. Look, it's dropped it in. Amazing. It just does those extra little things. So there you go. I mean, I have to say, I'm really impressed with Claude routines. It's that simple to connect Notion with Senja, where I keep my testimonials, all from a routine that will just run all on the cost of my max plan. Love it. So where do you stand? Are you going to go all in on Claude, all in on Notion, or are you using a combination of both like me? I believe that the best system is one that you can understand clearly, use and scale, and be able to consolidate all of your information into one place, alongside the most flexible, singular agentic help you can get. And for me, that's Notion and Claude. Let me know where you stand. And you want to watch this video next for how to get set up on Claude better than 99% of people. It's a banger. It totally took off. Thanks to everyone who downloaded CoWork OS, also link below. And you can check this one out for how I'm using Notion to build my agentic business. See you there. Bye.